Good morning, afternoon, and evening, friends. This is Anthony Bynum presenting our second episode of DGFA. Yes, don't get fooled again. The name of our production company is the Glen Burnie Players. In our show, we showcase our Anne Arundel County. We showcase our county through our strongest assets, our people. In this episode, we were fortunate to have a great conversation with a father-daughter team. Steve DiDomenico has written a children's book about the pandemic, and his daughter Olivia has illustrated that same book. Our second interview is with actor-comedian Andy James. The man had me in stitches. I think you're really going to enjoy that one. We introduced a new segment called Over Anne Arundel. We see our county through the eyes of modern technology as Jack Turner flies a drone for us. Our next segment is a tribute to our fine members in sanitation. When you see them doing a job that many folks just don't want, thank them. Give them a tip. We close with the inspirational concert and night of prayer held at St. Philip and Neri. So folks, please sit back and enjoy. Thank you. Yes, good evening, everyone here in Anne Arundel County. This is again Anthony Bynum for Don't Get Fooled Again. We have our next guests are a father-daughter team. Stephen DiDomenico has written the book. It's called Violet Learns About the Coronavirus. His daughter Olivia has illustrated the book. We're going to have a nice little conversation with them right now about their lives here in Anne Arundel County and, of course, some of their interests and, most importantly, about the book itself. It's good to see everybody. Olivia, how about yourself? How you doing?
Good.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I want to thank both of you for the opportunity to talk about your book. I spent a little time on it. I've already announced that it's called Violet Learns About the Coronavirus. Before we talk about the book, though, let's talk a little bit about you. Again, thank you both so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about the book. Steve, Olivia, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Sure. So I'm Steve. I'm Olivia's father. We live in Ferndale in Anne Arundel County. We've lived here for a number of years. She's in the 5th grade, and she likes to play soccer. We like to play sports. We're learning how to bake. We've done a little bit of writing and illustrating on the side. What else? Well, you want to say something? What would you like to tell the audience?
I don't know.
Well, Olivia, do you is there anything in particular? I know you like to play soccer, and you said like to bake also. Is there anything in particular that you like to bake?
I like to bake cookies.
Anyone in particular that you like? Chocolate chip? Anyone in particular that you like more than the other?
My favorite is coffee cake cookies.
Oh my goodness, coffee cake cookies. You know, I think I remember where this came up because this company, I guess we can't name the company, but they make coffee cake, and I love that coffee cake crumb topping. Oh my goodness, it's off the wall. It's off the wall.
Yeah.
So
we make a cookie that has that crumb topping on it.
Say again, Steve.
We make a cookie that has the crumb topping on it, so it's like a coffee cake, only it's in the cookie version.
They're so good. I just think they might be illegal in some places. I don't know. Well, so you guys have gotten together and you've written a book. Tell us a little bit about the book.
I wrote the book back in 2020. We've been in this pandemic for a while now, and the goal was just to write a children's picture book to educate children on how to be safe with the coronavirus, and also to foster positive vaccine awareness. And it just so happened that Olivia, she illustrated the whole thing. It turns out that Olivia is becoming she's growing up to be a fantastic artist and illustrator.
Well, that's a great skill to have. It's a great skill to have. Writing and you can't function in society without being able to write. Matter of fact, you have to write in all society to be successful, or at least I believe that's the case. So maybe you would allow us the honor of listening to a little bit about the book. Maybe you could read a little bit for us.
Sure. Well, I'll read a few pages, and Olivia can follow along with the illustrations as I read it to you.
Fantastic.
So it's Violet learns about the coronavirus. And then there's the illustration of a lot of the little viruses she drew. And it starts off like this. Violet is a cute little 5-year-old girl, innocent and precious, like a baby pearl. Dada, she asked in a voice so curious, please tell me about the coronavirus. Okay, my little pearl, listen carefully, he said, and pay attention as he tucked her into bed. The coronavirus is a disease all over the world. In other words, a pandemic as the virus unfurled. The disease is contagious, meaning these days you can catch it in a variety of ways. Breathing in or touching the dangerous germs can get you infected in medical terms. COVID-19 is another name. It's a virus from nature. No one is to blame. Wearing a mask or shield on your face can block the spread of germs from taking place. Washing and sanitizing your hands thoroughly will help to kill the tiny germs normally. Not getting too close to people keeps you protected and can prevent you from getting infected.
Hey, Steve, Olivia, I'm enjoying this so much, but I was just thinking about something. Maybe this is a good point to kind of stop, because we don't read everything. We want people to have the opportunity to get the book. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, is the book available? How would people be able to do that?
It's for sale now at many online retail sites, as well as directly from us. And we're trying to line up signings and readings and like events for local authors. But for sure it's out there at online retail sites.
Well, fantastic. So, Olivia, you're not only showing your skills with writing and illustration, but you're also learning a little bit about marketing. Fantastic. Well, I must say that I'm enjoying this immensely. Let's see here now, this is December, so I'm assuming your soccer season is over now, Olivia?
Yeah,
How'd your team do?
they did good.
Fantastic. And Steve, do you have any other interests other than writing? Do you have any other things that makes you what you are?
Well, I like different sports. I'm into music. I've done drums a little bit. I like to travel. Just a variety of different things.
Who's your all-time favorite drummer?
Gosh. Neil Peart's up there, but he ended up, I don't know, he does too much, like I don't know if you know who that is.
No, I don't. What group is he associated with?
Rush.
Oh,
He
okay.
just puts too much in like I don't know if I could narrow it down to one. I recently gave her a few lessons. It was kind of fun to watch her just pound on the drums.
It's hard to say who the favorite of anything is. I what I recall about that group Rush is one of the guys was a big baseball guy, but I forget who it was. The singer, perhaps it was the singer. One of them was a big he's written books. He's well known for his affinity to baseball. The Canadian group, I mean, you would know that. You're a big fan of Rush, obviously. But big fan of the Blue Jays. But I forget the guy's name. Who's the lead singer for Rush? I forget.
I kind of forgot his name. They've kind of been, it's kind of old. It's kind of old. I haven't really thought of them much in years. So.
Well, we lost our favorite drummer.
It's Geddy Lee, I think.
Geddy Lee. There you go. Yeah. You got to come. Sometimes you got to you got to stay on it, and it kind of comes to you. You. Well, it's been a pleasure having this conversation. It truly has been. I enjoyed listening and about the book and the opportunity to speak to fellow Anne Arundel County residents. So with that, we probably need to start closing up right now or winding up right now. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we end the interview?
Olivia, what would you like to add?
I don't have anything else to say.
Oh.
Well,
she has plenty to say off camera.
Well, that's fine. And that's the way it normally is. And there's nothing wrong with that. This has been Anthony Bynum. Thank you so much, Steve and Olivia, for that great interview. And I'm going to be signing off now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, Anne Arundel County. Thank you again for tuning in to Don't Get Fooled Again. I have the pleasure of speaking with a new good friend of mine, Mr. Andy James. Andy, thanks so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate you,
Anthony,
sir.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, there's some things we certainly want to talk about today, to include your production company. But before we do that, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Born and raised in Minnesota, but in 2013 I got dropped off here by the military. We've been living in Howard County ever since, but we've been gradually making it closer and closer to Anne Arundel. So now we're in North Laurel, which is so close to you. So I understand all your other guests are from Anne Arundel County. Is that
well
correct?
for the day?
So I make it
for the day.
All right, I can make it. Well, then I might as well get more comfortable because I thought this was going to be a very short interview, and I was in the wrong house. But now my partner at Bad Music Productions, Blake, he is Anne Arundel County resident, long time.
Very good. Anne
Arundel County resident. So by virtue of my business associate, the other creative half to Bad Music Productions, yeah, I'm kind of part of your county.
Tell me a little bit about Bad Music Production. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do.
Sure. The tagline is it's an experiment in music and sound and acting and all sorts of. It's basically two middle-aged American guys who decided to start an entertainment channel. And Blake makes his own music. I make some of my own music. But then we also have done some interviews. We've interviewed one movie producer and podcast extraordinaire, Tim Polari. He was great from Crawl Space Media. We interviewed him about his movie. And then we just kind of play around. It's fun, We do a lot of fun things. We mess around with video. We mess around with audio. And now is the time to do it,
Tell me a little bit about these classes of phenomena that you talk about in your routine. I'm so curious about that.
Sure. You're talking about our latest project.
Yes, sir.
The North American cryptid, C-class cryptid, the hoodie werewolf of upstate New York. Yes. I'm not really surprised you brought that up because that is what I'm most well known for at this moment. Our YouTube channel, kind of a big deal. We've got 142 views on that one alone. That's a lot of views. We also have 41 subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers. So
How many subscribers is that?
that's a lot of subscribers. And I only share that with you, because you're doing this professionally too. You've got this great studio. You got this great setup. You can have people come in and you can interview them. So I know the struggle to get those viewership, to get that viewership up. You've got, sounds like a really great concept here. I love the idea. I'm also a historian, so I love the idea of looking into people's pasts, people who are residents of the area, and I think that's a really cool thing.
History is so important. It's part of all of us because we are history from the beginning to the end. For me, it was 58 years ago. Every minute that goes by is history. Some history is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Some
like this one.
Mm-hmm. Some not as important. But we just are coming into a new year. We've had two very, I guess we could say, traumatic years. But you know what? They're history, right?
They are history. They're locked in the annals of history where they belong, particularly the last 2 years. But I'll tell you, growth happened in the last 2 years. A lot of growth happened. We see it everywhere. Well, people are able to do more remotely. To me, that's a sign of progress.
Sure.
We don't have to always be in the same places now. The opportunity to sit side by side with people like this, I value that still.
Sure.
But remote work, all that stuff that came from the last couple of years, I think that was a huge boon.
Sure.
To the way we were going from as a working culture in the United States. I think bringing us closer to home is nice.
There's something I have to talk to you about.
Okay.
Because I believe you said you grew up in Minnesota. I believe you said that.
Oh, yeah.
Home of the Vikings and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I'm just curious. Now, you don't have to share this with me if you don't want.
All right.
But I'm just curious.
All right.
This thing, I think they call it lutefisk. Can you tell me a little bit about
Lutefisk.
what that is?
Lutefisk.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Lutefisk. So I don't know what to do with all the pillows. And this may actually be important to me as I describe this to your viewers. Those who are not familiar with lutefisk, Andrew Zimerman did a special on, was it Man versus Food? No, not Man versus Food. Crazy things that he eats, right? He goes around and he went to Minneapolis or to St. Paul, where he's living at the time, at least he was living there, and he had to try lutefisk. Now, this is a man who has traveled the world and eaten some very strange things. Lutefisk was not on his list, I think, and then somebody said, no, you've gone to the corners of the world and you've eaten that, but you haven't eaten lutefisk? In the basement, the smoke-filled basement of every Lutheran church in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, back in the day, particularly, lutefisk dinners on Christmas Eve were a big treat, a big thing. My mom made lutefisk for my dad on a couple of occasions. It smells bad. It smells bad when it's cooking. And would you like to know why?
I'm kind of afraid to ask, but okay.
I'm going to. So lutefisk is a delicacy from courtesy of the Norwegian Swedish culture. It's cod, North Atlantic cod usually, soaked in lye.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. North Atlantic cod.
No, I got that part.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say it was soaked in?
Oh, soaked in lye.
Isn't that the stuff they use to make soap? Or?
Yep. Same thing. It's poison. Yeah, it's poison. And so what happens, right, is you take, the way you prepare it, right, is you have to boil the poison off, right? You don't want to eat the lye. And what it delivers to you then is a gelatinous, semi-transparent fish. But the dish is incomplete without a side of butter, a cup about that. But we go about a cup, but this is about a cup. And that is the lutefisk is a transfer system for the butter. Because that's the only reason anyone will eat lutefisk is to bring butter, melted butter, into their mouth from this fishy jelly, which I've never understood. Eaten it, tried it, we'll never eat it again. We'll never eat it again. But it's a delicacy to many people. Still just love it and will have it every.
So,
Christmas.
are there homes? Are there second tier markets for fruit cakes and lutefisk and chitlins and things like that? You tell me.
Well, not for lutefisk. Lutefisk. You got to say the fisk. Lutefisk. So there is a special market for that, and you can actually go online. I can go online and get. I don't know why you would want to, but you can go online and buy lutefisk. I do buy lefse every year online from a place in Wisconsin.
Is that like a cheese thing?
No,
What is it?
it's like a tortilla, but it's made out of potato. And it's very flat and very thin. And some people, you serve it
Does the
room
USDA
temperature.
allow you to eat it? I mean,
Well, it's from Norway.
okay.
So you put butter on it, and you can sprinkle sugar on it if you like. I just prefer the butter because, again, everything's about the butter transfer. It really is, you know. So you roll that up like a little burrito or tortilla, and then you eat your food.
But it would be from Norway, so it's a Norito.
It's a Norito. I like that. It's a Norito. Very good.
So, you've heard it here first. Let's start there. This has been a very enjoyable discussion,
I've enjoyed it.
but we do need to start kind of wrapping things up here. So let me ask you,
Yeah.
Andy, in closing, is there anything else you want to talk about? Serious or not serious?
Can I do half and half?
You can do whatever you like, sir.
I'll do half serious and half not serious, but mostly because it's kind of who I am. You laugh because sometimes if you don't, you cry. Right? That's the only alternative. So right now, in this country, in the whole world, we need laughter. We need goodness, kindness, not laughing at people. I love laughing at myself. I'll laugh at myself all day long. But I think the days of the online videos of people breaking themselves and finding that funny, and watching people destroying their lives on TV, finding that realism funny or entertaining, I think those days are kind of leaving us.
Sure.
We need more humor, good humor, quality humor. We need to laugh together, and we need to be able to laugh at ourselves. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then, well, I don't know. I guess you can't laugh at yourself, and you're not much fun to be around.
Fellow, I guess we would say Minnesotans. Minnesotans
Oh, yeah.
seem to have that message. I was always a big fan of Garrison Keillor. I used to listen to his show.
Garrison Keillor. Yeah.
And what I
Prayer
always
Room
liked,
Companion.
yeah, what I always liked about his show is that they were never afraid to poke fun at themselves.
That's the Minnesota way.
Yeah.
And it some people say that's Midwestern, but it's the Minnesota way. You can't take yourself too seriously, because if you do, nobody else will.
Sure.
And so we take ourselves very unseriously, with the idea that people are going to then in return take us very seriously.
Those are profound.
Serious words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marinate on that.
Yes. With the lutefisk.
with the lutefisk. Yeah. Oh, that was German. I said, yeah, boy. I want to learn Norwegian, but I just haven't gotten there yet.
Sure.
Anyway, sorry, I know you were trying to wrap up.
That's okay.
I just want to keep hanging out with you, Tony.
Well, we've done it. I think we're going to do some more hanging out.
Oh, great.
But for this segment of Don't Get Fooled Again, this is Anthony Bynum again talking with Andy James, and thank you all very much for tuning in.
In every civilized community, whether in a big city or a small town, the people have certain basic needs. The need to be safe, the need to function. One of life's greatest functions is eating and drinking. Those functions keep us alive. With eating and drinking comes waste. That food, those drinks come from somewhere. In our consumer-based society, they come from companies in a unique chain that helps to make America, America, or Anne Arundel County, Anne Arundel County. I say all that to say that one of the vital aspects in a free society is trash pickup. Nothing glamorous here. It's hard work that must be done. The fine men of our local trash pickup fill that vital role. We salute you. Saturday night, March 12th, I attended the annual St. Philip Neri Inspirational Concert and Night of Worship. This event is held at the church, one of our county's most beautiful sites. The event actually took place over 2 nights and was well attended that Saturday with community, neighbors, and friends. The event coordinator is Father Andy. We were treated to the beautiful voice of Irish tenor Mark Forrest. Well, folks, thank you for being part of something that we believe is special. We here at the Glen Burnie Players want to thank you for taking time to be with us. That specialness is you, the fine people of Anne Arundel County. So until next time, take care.